Hey friends, I'm back. I'm a little bit tired, a little bit loopy, but it's fine. Because we're gonna talk about Glew, baby. What's Glew? Um, well, I was talking, a few minutes ago about how nice it is of Windows to have the GL includes and the link libraries and stuff like that for free. However, it has quite an old version of OpenGL, and we need some new stuff. We need, vertex buffers and vertex arrays. Those are a bit newer than the one that Windows has. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to download yet another library to get access to those new juicier functions. So I'm just gonna Google Glew here, GLEW, which stands for Open GL Extension Wrangler library. So I'm just gonna go in here and just download these binaries here. Binaries. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have to wait for this timer, and oh god. Okay, so yeah, I've already downloaded it and extracted it, but yeah, I'm just gonna save there. Yeah, let's go. I don't know, for some reason show in folder just doesn't work in my browser. It's 2021. You go to the folder. It's not that hard. Okay, I'll just go there. Download. Unzip. There we go. All right, so Glew, just like GLFW, it comes with either linking dynamically or linking statically. I haven't actually talked that much about linking dynamically. Maybe I'll do it later. It is a lot more complicated, but as I said, I heavily prefer static linking in projects like these that aren't very big scale. So I'm just gonna go into lib. Release and then x64 for 64-bit. So the way Glew has decided to do things is that they have one lib file and then they have one with an S there at the end, so glew32s.lib, and an S stands for static. Excuse me, so static like in static linking. So that's the library file that we want. So I'm just gonna go back. Back in black. There it is. Okay, so where's my stuff? I fucked up. Okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, this is not part of it. I oh no! Where's OBS? Pause. Slight technical difficulties. We're back. I've got the folders now that were mysteriously stolen from me. All right, so now I'm ready to copy this stuff. So I'm just gonna go into lib. Just copy this stuff here. Great. And I'll copy over the includes as well. So I'll go into include here. As again, you just take the whole folder and you just push it in there. Fantastic. So, we're fucking pros. We know how to do this. I'm just going to go into project properties, linker input, and add it to the list here. We've done this before. Yeah, this ain't our first rodeo. Glew32s.lib. Great. And let's include it. So includes GL Glew. Like so, F6. Uh-oh. So Glew is quite finicky. I'm not a big fan of this library, but so the first thing is we have to include Glew before we include GL for some reason. So I'll just put it in front here. And we get the same error again. So this actually because GLFW3 actually includes OpenGL in the header, so we actually have to put that in front of GLFW as well. Thanks, Glew. Ah, it works. Magic. So let's call some dang functions, guys. Let's just call one at random. It doesn't really matter. This video is not about we're not entering the pipeline yet. We're setting up Glew, but I'm just gonna call one. Let's do gen buffers. Yeah, sure. That doesn't matter. Yes. Okay. So here's another finicky thing about Glew. We're getting an unresolved external symbol here. Why is that? We're linking with the library. Usually this error happens when we're declaring a function or including a file, but we haven't linked the library yet. But we have. I mean, you saw me link the library. Like, the evidence is quite clear. What's happening here is that by default, Glew expects you to dynamically link with its DLL file, and this is sort of a C++ thing. You have to write your header differently if you are statically linking or dynamically linking. We can probably go into Glew here and see. If I go to here. Yes, here we go. So here's so you have to put this decal spec. Decal spec sounds like a like the most trash like Star Wars side plot character ever. But yeah, you have to decal spec your DLL exports, or sorry, your DLL imports to link with a dynamic library. But with a static library, you use type extern. So you actually have to write the declarations differently if you want a DLL import versus if you want a statically import. And GLFW did static linking by default, so we didn't have to do anything. But Glew is by default dynamic linked, and we have to define this Glew static to actually change the include file to do static linking. This is again C++ nonsense. It's not super important that you remember this stuff, but it's just like, have this in the back of your head. A lot of libraries that do dynamic and static linking has this feature where you have to sort of define some constant to get it working. So we're just gonna define here. Before we import Glew, I'm just gonna define Glew static here. All right, and that's gonna change the declarations in the Glew header to do static linking, and now we don't get the linker error anymore. So if I do F5, it works, but we get this exception because you think this is gonna be easy. You think fucking programming is easy? No, it's supposed to be hard. You're supposed to cry, and now you're free to cry because we get a null pointer exception. That's not good. And that's because it hasn't actually bound the functions yet. The way that it works is that you actually have to run some code in Glew to actually import all of these OpenGL extensions like GL gem buffers and so on. Unfortunately, it just does not work out of the box. So that sucks. So we have to call Glew init. It's Glew init. It's oh god, I'm so tired. I'm so loopy. All right, so we called Glew init, but didn't get a null pointer exception. Fantastic. Right. Cool. Sorry, I had a little bit of a brain fart there. The problem here is that if I put because you might not have been as successful as I was, because if I put this Glew init in top, let's see what happens. We still get a null pointer exception. And that's because Glew can't actually import these functions, these OpenGL functions, if there is not a context to work with. So if we try to import these functions before we create the window or the context, it won't work. So we have to make sure that we call glue init after the window has been created, and then it will work. All right, so that's, one of the 10 pitfalls that you can fall into when trying to link with glue. And there we go. We got glue.